Hi everyone, this is part number 4, practice bike. I nearly dropped it. I actually bought this 990R purely by, well, not luck, kind of, I don't know, it was just 15 minutes from me. I just went to have a look at it and just ended up buying it. So having 950 as well, which is my preferred bike out of the two, I just decided that I'm gonna make this into practice bike. So there we are. I'm gonna run you through what I changed, what I modded, and what's the idea behind it, so you can have a look for yourself. So as I mentioned, guys, this is a 2009 Adventure 990R. Quite low mileage, to be fair, just 21,000 miles on it. The front end, let's talk about front end. You got handguards, which is KTM powered parts handguards, so that replaces all the plasticky ones. You got a carbon screen. It's actually now wrapped in carbon because it was snapped before. I used it on my 950, so that's there. And on the front end also, you don't really have many changes. Forks have been revalved and resprung, so that's given us a little bit of a better ride. Wheels are actually aftermarket wheels, that's narrow rims. These ones are actually XL rim on a SM Pro hub. They're quite nice. You can have a better tire selection on the off-road sections, obviously. So let's just have a look what else we got. The bash plate, it's my basic bash plate. I ran it on a 950, but since I have a carbon one and this one come with the factory one, I will put it on this bike. Obviously heavy enduro graphics, how else could I have it? Got a little protector for the rear brake. I tend to rub my boots in there, so that's quite handy, to be fair. You also have a triple clamp motor clutch cover, which is quite handy when you drop the bike. It did actually take some beating, this one, so it come really good. On the back we also have a narrow rim, same setup as the front, XL rim and SM Pro hub. GPR exhaust itself, it's actually 2-in-1, so it's not a full rally exhaust. I got that on the shelf ready to go on a 950 when I decided to do it, but there is a reason why the single exhaust is on that bike, and we'll get to that in a second. Back of the bike, pretty standard, guys, just the luggage frame. It protects the bike nicely from falling, and I tend to do quite a bit of that sometimes. So you got custom made fuel tank at the back as well. That one is made by a friend from Unit 1 Fabrications. It was just a quick job for the rally for one of our friends, so I inherited that, which is quite good. The rear shock has been serviced. There's nothing special about it. This one actually runs a stock slave cylinder, so it's not an Oberon like I got a 950. It does have a different shifter on it, but I think it's AS3. It's nothing special. It's just a little bit nicer with the bike altogether. So what else do we have in here? I got a custom made seat made by my friend with the embroidery for heavy enduro racing. So that was our test seat, so we are working on something for this as well. Right, let's come to the dash, because that's where it gets a little bit more interesting. So in here I actually have slight change. So I got my tablet up here, and my tablet, it's actually quite handy for navigation, or actually digital roadbook. Got a set of buttons in here, which I believed I covered in my other video the other day, but this is basically controlling my roadbook. Also, what you have in here, it's a triple clamp motor, steering dampener, razors, and a Scott's dampener. That's very useful. After having it on a 950, it was kind of almost felt like essential. Hot grips actually have been on the bike, so I didn't put them on, but they proved to be handy, to be fair. I quite like them. Also, what we have in here, it's the fat bars. So they are wider and they are higher. I'm quite tall, I got long legs, so yes, some people might say, yeah, that's not very good for your riding and it's not right, but well, to be fair, I enjoy it. so it helps me out. I feel more comfortable, and it's exactly the same setup as I got on my 950. So if I'm using this as a practice bike, it's basically resembling a 950 characteristics from that perspective, from a riding position. So something that I actually forgot to mention to a certain extent, it's the actual plate that holds my tablet. It's made by Unit 31 Fabrications, and originally it was made slightly differently because it was to accommodate the clocks and a phone or your GPS next to each other. So the clocks wouldn't be as high as they are now, but because I'm running a tablet, there is no space for that. So there is an extra bracket made for the clocks over the tablet. What I haven't mentioned, it's that I also run a Super Sprox rear sprocket. You don't really need it. You can get on with a steel one like I did previously, and I still do on a 950. So that's more of a nice thing to have rather than necessary thing to have. Also run a second fan kit from Twalcom on the bike, and trying to get as close to my race bike as 950. I did move the battery from the original position under the seat, so that helped with the weight distribution a little bit. Obviously, I would like this bike to resemble the feel and characteristics of the 950 as close as possible without doing any more modifications. So that is the plan, and hopefully this bike will get me training without breaking the tower, which I did manage to break the tower. Well, once I broke it, once I bent it, so that means twice. It gets expensive, but I do have a spare tower in stock now, so I'm pretty covered, but it means quite a bit of work to get the wires in and out. So idea is to get this for practice, use it, and yeah, if I end up breaking bits, then yeah, that's fine. But getting away from the old navigation setup and making sure that I don't break that and keep it for racing.